Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the History of Italy channel. Welcome to this new episode dedicated to the armored vehicles of the Royal Army. Today we will talk about the Carro Veloce Model 1929, the progenitor of the very famous Carro Veloce that we all know. Let's start by making a quick recap of the armored vehicles that took up service with the Italian Royal Army during the Great War and the first post-war period. During 1917–1918, although the Italian front, due to its inaccessible and mountainous characteristics, did not lend itself much to the use of armored vehicles. Our High Command took an interest in the tanks used up to now by the English and French allies. Only the latter sold some specimens to our country, including a Schneider CA1 and 4FT tanks in 1918, two with a cast Giraud turret and two with a riveted Berliet turret. Both types of turrets were omnibuses. They might carry a 37mm cannon or machine gun. Following the refusal of the French government to supply others, the design of the Fiat 3000 was started. The main characteristics that differentiate it from the French model were the following. The engine, a 4-cylinder petrol-fueled and water-cooled Fiat 304, with a displacement of 6,235 cc, was capable of developing a power of 50 horsepower. The French engine was capable only to develop 35 horsepower and it was arranged longitudinally. In the Italian tank, the engine was much more powerful, but above all, it was placed transversely, which allowed a decrease in length of 1.4 meters, 5 meters in front of only 3.61. This ensured a lower weight of 1.5 tons, for a total of 5.1 tons. This ensured a lower weight of 1.5 tons, for a total weight of 5.1 tons. The structure of the turret was modified, while as regards the armament the vehicle was armed with two Ceva Mod. 1918 6.5mm machine guns and subsequently, as we will see later, by a 37mm cannon. About 1,200 were ordered, but the end of the conflict led to the reduction of the order to only 100 units, whose delivery, due to the difficult internal situation of the country, was postponed to June 1920. The tank entered service in 1921 with the name Assault Tank Fiat 3000 Model 21. Given the economic hardship and also a decline in interest from our High Command, our army remained for all the 20s with only 100 Fiat 3000s, rejecting the hypothesis of replacing them with a more powerful model suggested by Colonel Maltese, defined Fiat 3000 Type 2. It was only planned to replace the armament of some tanks with the 37/40 Vickers Turney cannon. Ceva and Curami in their book, The Mechanization of the Army until 1943 highlight the fact that this request for modernization of the armament dates back to 1923, moreover it concerned only a limited number of vehicles already produced. During the 1929 maneuvers in Val Varaieta with the participation of two Fiat 3000 battalions, the need for a replacement became clearly clear. The impossibility of abandoning the valley roads and the excessive bulk of the vehicle made the Royal Army understand the limits of the Fiat tank. It was therefore decided to entrust the difficult task of finding on the foreign market a vehicle characterized by reduced overall dimensions, good maneuverability and decent adaptability to national and colonial terrain to the Automotive Technical Inspectorate. The search for vehicles that could meet these requirements immediately began, analyzing both wheeled and tracked vehicles. In reality, the search for new armored vehicles had already started in 1928, noting the poor ability of national industries to design and produce a domestic model. Naturally, the interest fell on the English tanks, then the most modern in the world. In 1929 a Vickers 6-ton was purchased on an experimental basis, from which the rolling train of the M-series wagons and two Cardan Lloyds were obtained, respectively, a Mark V** and a Mark VI. The latter was tested in 1929 near Savona. The tankette proved to be small enough to accommodate mountainous and even colonial terrains, but armament and armor were insufficient. Despite this, the wagon was adopted by the Royal Army with the official name of Carro Veloce Model 29. A total of 25 specimens were purchased in two lots, the first of 4 and the second of 21 specimens. 12 of them were assembled by the OTO. Let's go to technically analyze the tankette. The CV33 was a small and light tankette, 2.5 meters long, 1.70 meters wide, 1.28 meters high and 1.70 heavy. The maneuverability on mountainous terrain was good, thus respecting the main requirement expressed by the Italian technical bodies, namely the ability to pass through narrow mountain roads and to overcome any type of bridge that allowed the transit of a motor vehicle. That it was a tankette without a rotating turret did not seem to worry too much. It was powered by a 22 horsepower Ford Model T4 engine that developed a top speed of 48 km per hour. The 27-liter tank guaranteed a maximum range of 100 km on the road or 2 hours on rough terrain. Initially the tank was equipped with a Vickers machine gun, later replaced by a Fiat Ravelli Mod. 1914 air-cooled machine gun of the 6.5 mm aviation type. The weapon was front-mounted on the right side and operated by the commander. In fact, the crew consisted of the pilot and the commander. Initially intended for reconnaissance, the CV33 essentially served to conduct field tests useful for designing the next CV33. He equipped two companies previously equipped with Lancia Ansaldo armored cars and reinforced the cavalry divisions. In 1938 some specimens received a crawler tow used for the creation of smokescreens. Renamed L29 in 1938 according to the new classification adopted, no specimen saw use in combat and was still operational in June 1940.